is finally here. It is finally time. We are seeing Black Panther. It is going to be hype. I've brought with me some new guests you haven't seen here on the channel before. I got my buddy Haley. We've got Kemi. And then for this one specific shot, we've got Kara. Hello, Kara. So my first question for you two, welcome to Movie Geek-Out. How this works is just, this is a series of just questions and answers. We're essentially giving you guys our first reactions and first opinions on the movie. However, it is going to be spoiler free. Don't worry, you can watch all the way through. We're not going to spoil anything for you. So my first question for you, my guests, do you keep up with the MCU? Do you know?
Yeah,
do you know superhero movies?
Yeah. Yeah.
Some?
Literally the only thing I
Deadpool?
spend like movie.
That's
my
not
money
MCU,
on.
Haley. That's not MCU.
But yeah.
Okay, so I want to follow that up with a second question, which is, did you see Captain America Civil War?
Yes. No. Yes.
No.
No. Yes. Maybe.
That's the one where they're all fighting each other. That's when we first meet T'Challa, Black Panther.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so you've seen Black Panther before? You haven't seen this character at all, have you?
Oh, I have.
You have?
I've watched movie clips.
Movie clips.
Movie clips.
Thoughts on T'Challa? And our thoughts really do matter because we're academic individuals. Thoughts on T'Challa?
Okay. Because I read the comics like as a kid.
Oh, you've read the comics too?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like I've always loved like Black Panther and representation has like I think that they have done him well, but I also think they introduced way too many characters in
Civil War.
But like, what can you do? That's all I have to say.
Well, I have one thing to ask you, which is, are you excited?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to anything in particular?
All of the above. My nibs. My nibs. I'm looking forward to Bryce.
Have you seen like the fight scene trailer where like she whips off her fucking wig and throws it at him?
Yeah.
I am ready to see that.
All right, so we're gonna go into the movie now. We'll let you know our thoughts when we get out. Let's go, come on, we gotta be live.
What happens now determines what happens to the rest of the world.
Okay, first thoughts.
It was really cool. There was a lot. I found some parts where I was like, wow, really? But yeah, it was cool.
First thoughts?
The first thoughts, very like cinematically gorgeous, I very much appreciated the photography and costuming and things.
And like the mise en scène.
It was like
mise en
so
scène. It was so beautiful.
Hashtag the 110.
Because they're academics. Okay, so my next question for you then, which has to be spoiler free. What was your favorite part?
Go Haley first, 'cause I did not think about this.
Okay, well, I thought about this bit. I think probably one of my favorite parts was kind of like this interesting aesthetic that they had going on, which was kind of different. Especially like I really loved the costumes.
Yeah, the movie was styled really
It was
nicely.
very beautiful.
I think my favorite part would probably be like empowered females in like different types of positions.
Shit, what was my next question? Who would you recommend this movie for?
Literally everybody.
Yes, please. I think it's helpful for everyone just in terms of like expanding your horizons, and it's a good movie, so why not go and see it? Why is there so much sound?
I'll close the door.
Jumped on my ankle.
I'm so sorry. What would you rate this movie out of 10?
Okay, wait. In accordance to what?
Yeah.
Whatever your rating system is, what you consider, so whatever you personally consider to be the best movie is a 10. Or some, like I myself consider like a 10 is like the perfect movie, which doesn't technically exist.
Definitely not.
No.
And then, 1 or 0 is like the biggest pile of horse dung you've ever seen.
The Room.
I would have to put Black Panther at 11.8.
11.8?
Out of 10?
11.8 out of 10.
Me?
Yeah, would you rate it out of 10?
Oh my god.
Is it just as a movie? As a movie?
As a movie?
Yeah.
I would say because I think really the purpose of this movie is just, is for enjoyment. I think as much as it is about
Like a social commentary.
like a social commentary and stuff, I think it is as well, for
Like a movie for friends.
yeah, a movie for friends and a movie for fun. So in terms of that, I would rate it like a good 9.8. Like it's pretty
Yeah.
darn fun.
Yeah. For like social commentaries and whatever, let's bump that number a little bit lower.
Yeah.
So, Black Panther was pretty good. I did really enjoy it. There were some parts about it that, for me, felt a little superhero cliche. I felt like I was seeing similar things to other superhero films, just with a new stylization that I don't think is very common in Western entertainment, which was good, which was a really, really good thing. Do I think it was the greatest superhero movie ever? No. I think it's a great film for representation. I think it's a great film to oppose that stigma of, you need the leading white male actor to make a successful film. I think it does a lot to break racial stigmas in Hollywood, and it does a lot to create representation in the entertainment industry. It was very good. Not the apple juice, the movie. It was very good, though. Relationships between characters were really well done. The relationship between T'Challa and his sister especially was something I really, really enjoyed. They did a lot with her character to not create comic relief, necessarily, but her wit and charm on point as both a writer's job and as an actor's job. She was great. She might have been my favorite character. Her name is escaping me because it's 1 a.m. as I film this bit, because I'm actually filming my thoughts for Movie Geek-Out on the same day like I'm supposed to. Her relationship with T'Challa, Black Panther, was awesome, and her wit, her charm, she's great. She's really cool. I actually think Marvel, Kevin Feige or someone at Marvel Studio might have confirmed she's the smartest character in the MCU at the moment. So it's obvious when you see the film she's super smart. She's a genius. I'd recommend the movie for, I guess, Marvel fans, go see it. It's another great action film. It's another great Marvel movie. It does dabble in African culture, which was cool. That's what I meant by stylization earlier. That's something that you don't really see in Western culture. You don't really see you don't really see a frequent use and a frequent representation of African culture in Western media, which I think was really, really cool. Out of 10, I'd rate the movie probably like an 8. I guess it's not the best superhero film around, but it was really good. Visually, holy crap, visually, it was stunning. It was a beautiful movie, well shot. There's one shot where it's for the audience to understand that the world is being turned upside down for the characters. So they literally start the shot coming in completely upside down, and as this character enters and our world is being flipped on our heads and the characters' worlds are being flipped on their heads, it flips the camera, it flips on its head, and which was it was a great visual representation for what was happening in the story at the time. There's been a lot of conversation in my academic environment at the moment about race and representation, and it's been a present thought in my mind for a few weeks now, and that was really something that stuck out with me for this film. That really made me think, and just it was more for me to absorb, to try and wrap my head and understand others' perspective. This movie, I'm not representing Tom Holland, Spider-Man. That's my representation, but this is a movie for the black culture, black community to feel representation. So Kemi shared some thoughts, which I've put at the end of this video here. She does dabble a bit into spoilers, so no, this next part does dabble into spoilers, but she talks a lot about the importance of black representation and some of the things this movie tried to do and some of the things this movie failed at a little bit, but also just talks about the cultural representation. It talks a lot about what this movie did for representation and for starting the conversation. Because, you know, leading up to this movie online, there was huge praise and huge admiration for, like, you know, the representation of black artists, black actors, black writers. It was good. So she's gonna talk about that. Wow, I'm really not articulating very well the subject matter, which I'm really not doing a very good job of articulate what I'm trying to express here. I'm a little tired. I think I gotta start making sure these movie geek-outs happen a little earlier on in the day, so that these post filmings are so late. It's so late. I need to go to bed. Thank you all for watching. Thank you again to Kemi and Haley for being on here. I hope my words and thoughts made sense throughout this video. I'm a little tired. This movie geek out might be coming out before Justice League, Thor, and Star Wars the Last Jedi, just because I want to try to get this out while Black Panther is still something people are talking about on the internet. Alright, let me know if you've seen Black Panther, your thoughts in the comment section of this video, but do your best to keep it spoiler free, please. I'll see y'all later.
Like, yes, like the commentary and like is very good for representation, because you just need to see yourself on screen, and it wasn't just like black people who were like tough or whatever. Like we had like intelligent ass black people on there, and that was important. But we also did see like the negative, like there's like a really big rift between Africans and like African Americans, and what this movie is going to do for that, we will see. That's what I can say without spoilers, I think. Is that a spoiler?
You can go into spoilers if
No,
you
that's
like.
not really a spoiler. I don't think that's a spoiler.
No, not really, no.
Okay, awesome.
No, I think it was kind of, yeah.
I think so. I'm gonna stay on that.
Yeah?
Because like I can't speak for everybody, but like there is a commentary that should be talked about, because there's a lot.
Well, what do you mean?
Like,
I'll cut if it's spoiler.
okay, like because obviously there are black people in like North America, and there are black people in Africa, and very specifically Wakanda, and it's like they're talking about how like Wakanda hasn't shared their resources and hasn't helped black people outside of Wakanda because they've been through a lot of shit. And like in real life, like a lot of people like who are African kind of shit on African Americans, being like, y'all don't even know your roots, you guys don't know where you're coming from, like what the fuck are you like saying, like what are you doing, kind of thing, right? And then African Americans are often saying like we can't, like this isn't our fault, like we're trying, but you guys kind of always reject us, and so there's always like this big rift in talking about it. I don't know, this is a lot. This is actually like a lot of social like commentary.
There's a lot of social undertones.
Yeah, there's so many social undertones that I don't think that the writers or directors actually dwelled into, or like they probably thought about it and was like, yeah, this is a good comment, but like they didn't maybe realize what that comment might start. Like it might be positive, it might be negative, just it really, really depends on how people want to take it, because this is a spoiler. Yeah, at the end of the movie, the guy was saying how like I'm not gonna be in shackles, that's why some of the slaves like jumped off, like why my ancestors jumped off of like the boats.
Yeah,
but,
slave boats, yes.
Yeah, but he technically is African, as in like born in Africa. Like his dad didn't go to America like on a slave ship, so those are not his ancestors. Like,
yeah,
you know, so he technically, yes, he grew up in America, like facing that, but he can't claim like slavery. Yes, personally, I still feel the effects of what happens.
Well, maybe.
But like, I can't be like my ancestors, because my ancestors did not at all. Like, there's a lot that's trying to be said, which obviously you can't cover in a single movie, which obviously you can't cover in like a single moment. But just for writers and producers and stuff like that to maybe think about it a little bit more, or like if they're not going to think about it just to make it about representation, then to not have an entire character whose storyline is based off of that specific thing, because that's what his character is based off of. That is where his hate comes from. Yeah, you can I'm not saying don't talk about it, but I'm saying like if you are going to talk about it, maybe you should like don't try to solve it obviously, but like maybe like even leave with like more open-ended questions. I don't know. Like there is a lot, and I can't like spew it out concurrently.
It's like it was something that couldn't be fully touched on in like a 2 to 3 hour movie. So
Exactly.
it's like you can't fully express it in like a
Especially since the focus was, as you said, to be like a fun superhero movie.
and I think
with just
that,
undertones.
Yeah, with like undertones, but they did kind of touch on something that needed to be expanded on.
Because like, I feel like
it didn't have the means to do that, you know.
Yeah, like it was definitely an undertone, but it was like it was a bit above that. Like there was a bit more focus onto it, too much for it to be an undertone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be where one of my issues like really lies with said thing.
I feel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, thank you two for being on the Movie Geek-Out. You can find the links to these two social medias down, in the description of this video.
Oh, like my Twitter.
Yeah, your Twitters, your Instas.
My Insta.
I cussed a lot in this video. Don't do that. I have an active image. Shit.